like to introduce the silver round of applause. Dr. Strix Toledo. Thank you. Thank you. And then the talk will probably be free-flowing. He's a field management specialist, also specializing in neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, other stuff. It was your
Hey, good afternoon. How are you guys doing so far? Okay naman? Wala ata titing isip na sa exam. Amin. I wish I could tell you I had an outline. I told Randy coming in that I made as much preparation here as I usually do for my lectures, which is 0. So, we're here coming from pretty much the same place that Randy invited you to do before you take the exams, which is forget everything. And let what comes come. And if that seems scary to you, it's probably because you're assuming there isn't much there. Do any of you have any fear like that? Parang, no? No? Anybody have any fears about what you're doing? It's new. You're not scared of something new? You're not? You're scared? Oh, the exam. The exam. That's kind of... I would actually think that's kind of a perfect place to come from. I have an idea. You guys are gonna pass anyway. I have a feeling. Because I have a feeling that Randy understands something that I understand from experience. Would you be okay with the notion that surprisingly there's a wisdom in you that you haven't acknowledged? Would you be okay with that idea? Okay. There's a wisdom that runs your body, that tells your heart exactly to beat at the pace it needs to. If you have to run across the street, do you have kids? If you have to run across the street to save your kids from oncoming traffic, your heart, before you ran, would automatically change the pace of your beating. It would automatically adjust how fast you breathe. Guess what? That same automaticity, that same intelligence that governs your body, that exists for the mind. There's a wisdom there. For when you shut up and just listen to your friends, sometimes the perfect thing comes out. Have you ever noticed that? Sometimes when you're just quiet, a brilliant idea comes in. Huh? Like when you're taking a shit. Pardon the language. My attempt to be colorful is so I say it once and you never forget. You okay with that? Yes. So we may get slightly rowdy. If you're okay with that. Okay. I get the sense also that, I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. Some of you, some more than others, have been doing things automatically. That you wish you knew where you were getting it from so you could justify what you were doing. Sometimes you do things brilliantly. I wish I could do that more. You know? Sometimes, hindi mo alam kung saan yung pinaghuhugutan mo, but you're doing fantastically well. And then sometimes it's a hit or miss. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right. And you're worried about the times when you don't get it right. Or you'd like to know how to do more. Okay. So my invitation for you to consider is, those times when you just shut up, something else arises. Something else comes up. And my invitation for you to consider is there is a native intelligence to your mind, whatever your notion of the mind is. And that intelligence does arise when you need it. The problem is we keep stopping it. Okay? We keep trying to pretend that we aren't built for communication. I could spend a whole day telling you about, your anatomy and your physiology. And basically, my summary is, you are built with Wi-Fi. You're built connected. That's how you're built as human beings. What stops us from communication? Fears, anxiety, beliefs. You need proof that we're built connected? Anybody need proof that we're built connected? Come on, raise your hands. I don't buy it. Do you understand that we are connected? You need proof. Look at children. You back off. You just reassure them that you're there. Let them coast to and fro. But they see another kid, they'll run into that kid. They'll start playing. They don't need to ask names. They'll start playing. Have you seen adults? Makakita ng magandang chick. Scared shitless. Okay? Men in our society, women in our society, we're scared shitless. Women are taught we shouldn't approach. Men are taught women believe we shouldn't approach. And so it gets messy and we're not able to connect. And we do all sorts of things. We study a ton of self-help. We read every book there is on how to do this and how to do that. Trying to cover up with skill for the belief that you aren't enough. Does that ring true for anyone? Because you see a lot of people like that when you start coaching. The belief that they aren't enough. The belief that I lack. The belief that I need. The belief that there should be more. And if I'm not doing more, I'm insufficient. Does that kind of ring true for some of you? Okay. Consider this. Sometimes, you just shut up. And I'm not inviting you to shut up completely, but when you are compelled to speak, but not before, and you speak, sometimes it's really smart. Sometimes you get that experience? If not anything else, that would be gold for you to walk away with when you start coaching. And I've done it a bit, and thankfully I've done a bit for myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't make sense out here. Is to sometimes just wait. Because there's a natural tendency built in by society for us to keep trying to do more. Do more, yeah? Do more of this, do more of that. And the place that it's coming from is a belief that you lack, that you need, that you aren't enough. And I would invite you to consider that that quite possibly isn't true. Let's start with anything you want. Can you give me an example of what your typical client would need? Anything. Come on. Yeah, name something. Oh, it's supposed to be interactive because we're humans. Come on.
Sorry.
Start with the client.
No, I don't want to talk about the client.
Oh, you don't?
You said in your first few paragraphs.
What?
Kasi it just affects me
Yes.
very badly.
Which does?
Yung sabi mo, there are flashes of brilliance.
Yes.
And there's a whole period of waiting before you get to that flash of brilliance.
Oh, it's always there.
And I want to know, how to tap that period of yung wala kang ginagawa para medyo ganun, mabalance naman yung mga periods of brilliance. Kanina pa gusto ko na mag-interfere.
Okay. So, if I were to understand... Okay.
It's a struggle for me. As a writer, I need to write. And it's not a discipline that is easy for me to do.
Okay.
So I wait until the flash of brilliance comes. But the period of waiting between the time I start to the time the flash of brilliance comes, nasasayangan ako dun sa oras. So I want to be able to use the time para at least nabibisi.
Okay, can I rephrase this so that it's useful for everybody else as well?
Yeah.
And more useful for you? I could be wrong, but between the time when we're brilliant and the time when we're up, okay, you'd like to know, how can I have more flashes of brilliance?
Yes.
And how do I get over the feeling that I should be doing more and I should be capable of more, but I'm not yet?
Yes.
Does that kind of address things for everyone? Okay.
Sustain.
Huh?
Once it flashes, then sustain.
Okay.
Sustain it. I think that's
How to have more flashes and how to sustain it.
yes.
Okay. Number one is reprising. I've been saying it from the start, but I've been explaining the background to it I'll get to you why. One of the first things is to understand. I have a difficulty with this because I'm trying to explain skills. I'm not about skills. Once you learn how to drive a bicycle or a car, you don't have to memorize the skills. Once you have the understanding, everything just falls away and it's automatic. You don't have to think, must pedal. No, if you understand, as long as it goes fast enough, I keep moving, you don't fall. I'm trying to express a fundamental understanding where if you get the fundamental understanding, even just a glimpse of it, certain things happen more automatically. Is that okay for us to try to reach that today? So what I'm trying to reach for today is for you to have an experience of where it's coming from. Is that okay? Where it doesn't matter if you get it instantly or not, but if you keep looking, I assure you, if you keep looking in that direction, you will see it. You will find it. Okay. Now, to just practically try to address that, even though I abhor what I'm going to do, I'll teach you the 20 funky steps. No. Again, it's because, we're trying to do so many things. Yeah, but if I were to break it down into 20 funky steps for brilliance, okay, fine. One is shut up.
Okay, number one.
No, not to you. Shut this up. Because the conscious mind is doing too many things. The basic understanding behind that, you feel you need too much. There's too much fear. Come on, am I wrong? If you're this, if you're that, you're apprehensive about this. Come on, what stopped you from being brilliant people? You want to try something evil? Who here has resistance to having lots of, pick one, success, money? What? Yeah, who doesn't want it? Or who has resistance to having lots of money? Raise your hands. Okay, let's make a third person. How to identify in your clients who has resistance to having money? It's easy. You want to find out? It's annoyingly easy. Are you okay with this? You sit down with a client, then you ask them, do you have lots of money? If they answer no, they have resistance to it. It's annoying, right? Okay. Do you have internal blocks or resistances to having a beautiful relationship? No? Are you in one? No? You do! Does that make sense? Okay, who here has resistance to making passive income by having workshops or information products out on the internet? It's a weird question, but if you're not doing it, it's because you have a resistance to it. Or it's not for you. Am I hitting certain things? Okay? So, first, there's a natural native intelligence there. What's your name there? Alice. Alright, I'm Strix. Hey, I'm Strix. Okay. By the way, my invitation for us to shut up is just to shut the conscious mind up. Same invitation Sir Randy had, which is we're overthinking, we're overdoing. And the place where your brilliance is coming from is not your overthinking. Have you noticed? It's weird in our society. By the way, I'm a pain specialist, so let me explain this the plain way. You have a plug, okay? And one of the first things we tell children is, do not put your finger in the plug. You tell them that, right? Do not poke your hand into a fire. Why? Because it hurts, right? Oh, here's society. Guess what? Thinking. Oh my God, I'm in debt. Oh my God, this relationship is not working out. I must think of a way. Let me translate that. Thinking, not working. Thinking, hurting. Solution, more thinking. Huh? Does that make sense? It hurts to put your finger in the fire, so avoid putting your finger in the fire. It hurts to think, and it's not working. And then the solution society tells you, or you tell you because you believe society is think more. Is that starting to make sense? A bit? That's clearly not where the wisdom is coming from. Nowhere in the Bible or anywhere else that's a wisdom book did I ever hear. Think more. It'll make you wiser. No. It's coming from someplace else. And to have the delusion that it's not naturally already there, that you're not naturally already brilliant, is terrible. And it leads you, that fear leads you into overthinking things. And overthinking is not where your natural native intelligence is coming from. Because after all, if you need to run across to save your children from crazy car or congressman, you don't tell your heart, you must beat 33% more, increase your ejection fraction. You don't tell your respiratory system, do this. And if you try to do it, it doesn't work more. It works less. It's inefficient. It doesn't work that way. But where it's fundamentally coming from, in my experience, it's a fundamental misunderstanding about how the mind works. And that misunderstanding stems from the belief that we're not enough. And it's coming from your conscious minds trying to manage everything. My dear friends, how many of you understand there's a conscious mind and there's an unconscious mind? How many? Nobody else? Do you understand there's a conscious mind and an unconscious mind? Okay, here. Your conscious mind, do any of you use Macintosh or Apple products, or are you all Windows-based for your laptops? No. Both? A bit of both. Okay. I'll simplify in other terms then. Your conscious mind is your RAM. It's limited. Your conscious mind can only handle 7 plus or minus 3 bits of information, unless you're a Tibetan monk, which you can handle 16 to 32. That's why in 1950s, one of the most brilliant things Americans ever did was reduce phone numbers to 7 digits. Why? Because that's the only thing the conscious mind can handle, 7 bits of information. Have you tried a little bit more than 7 bits of information in your head? Can you handle more? No, right? Oh, here's what most people are doing. What to do with their children, what to do about their boss, what to do about their work, plus a shopping list of 5 items in their head. And then they wonder why they're forgetful. No, the conscious mind wasn't built to handle any more than focus. It's a misunderstanding about what the conscious mind is supposed to do. And what the conscious mind is supposed to do is filter, is direct, is be a kind parent, to direct your focus. It's the lens. Your hard drive, which stores everything from 6 months before you were born, remembers everything. And guys, if you don't believe me, if you have a girlfriend or a wife, trust me, they remember everything. This is how, girlfriend or wife? Wife. This is how she meets a guy for the first time, barkada mo or friend na yung never pa niya na-meet. Tapos she can say, I don't like him. Huh? You just met him. How does she know? She's met an archetype like that who has those characteristics, and she instantly micro-translates all of the expressions and summary from the unconscious mind that remembers every terabyte of data. And translation, this guy will be no good 6 months from now. He'll steal. How? Because her unconscious mind remembers everything and comes up with a generalization. And then sometimes it filters in. Flash of brilliance. Guess what? That was a flash of brilliance. Your wife automatically, has this happened? Synthesized lots of data and she made a jump conclusion. Guess what? That jump conclusion is based on everything she's ever been exposed to. Right or wrong. Right or wrong. But, yeah, your conscious mind cannot synthesize that much information. So, how to get more brilliant? There are many techniques, but the basic, I would say, is you've got to have some access to your unconscious minds. You did some earlier, though. You've tried some hypnosis with Jason. Okay? Other ways to do it, meditation, etc. I'm basically saying you have to back off and not let your conscious mind do what is supposed to be an unconscious process. And you can do several things, including practical steps like clearing out the clutter, including clutter in your head, so you're not overthinking. if you understand that your brain isn't supposed to handle more than 7 bits of information at a time, and you reduce it from your brain, guess what? You can actually hear more. Okay? Hey, I've been to groups where we speak to hundreds of people at the same time. Okay. And I ask them a simple thing to do. While I'm here, allow yourselves to listen to me and just me for a while. I'm not going to take forever. Okay? Guess what always happens? Always. Very few people will be able to do it. Even though you think you're listening, I know you're listening to previous associations in your head, trying to generalize what it means in terms of your experience, making connections to what you used to do, making interpretations of what the hell does he mean. Guess what? You're not listening to me. You're listening to you. And I can hear that. You understand? The flashes of brilliance when you're with your friends and you're just listening with nothing on your mind, that's why you're brilliant. You're not overthinking. Your natural Wi-Fi is on. What most people are trying to do is they have natural Wi-Fi they don't know. So they build antenna towers and install so much. And all those skills cover up their natural Wi-Fi so that it doesn't work anymore. All that overthinking and overlearning covers up the natural intelligence so it doesn't work anymore. And that's a tragedy. Does this help? Okay, Alice. How to have more episodes of brilliance? Whatever it takes that brings you into that zone where you're actually quiet and just paying attention to what's there and to nothing else, that's going to be where your brilliance comes from. For some people, you can't kid me. You're at the gym because that's your meditation. You're at the club because that's your meditation. That zones you out, that silences the brain. You're at golf because that's your meditation. You're overeating because for once that silences the little child in your mind that says, I need. And you give them a toy and they're okay for a while. And where it's coming from is a fundamental understanding about where the really important things are coming from. Yabang ko, no? Kala mo, alam ko kung saan galing yung importante. But, tell me, where do you think the important things are coming from? And yes, it's got a point. It's related to how you'll be more productive as a writer. How you'll understand what you do automatically when you touch people. And a few other things. Am I wrong? Okay. So tell me, what's really important in life? How many people believe, what's the usual? Okay, where does happiness come from? I don't know, come on. Your clients have this in their heads, in one way or another. People you are going to coach will have this in their heads one way or another. Can you give me examples of those questions? That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get happy. Whatever it is, you write an article in order to get what? Do you write books, my dear? Reports. When you get a report, then how does it make you feel?
I feel good.
Right. Yes. You have a sense of accomplishment and you feel good. Guess what? You're not writing to write. You're writing to feel good. You're writing to feel accomplishment. You're writing to feel fulfilled. When you get your check, how does that make you feel? Okay? Are you following this? We do things because it means something to us. Does that kind of make sense? You're trying to accomplish something and you think it's in your paycheck or in the fulfillment of the work, and it could be. Could be. But let me introduce something called quality of mind. Can we role play for a while? Is that okay? Can we have 2 chairs up, 1 male, 1 female? And those of you who are nice and brave will volunteer. And it will increase your wealth, abundance, and happiness tenfold. And if you don't, your sex lives will wither and die. 20 minutes, thanks. Real quick. It's real quick. You don't need to do anything. That's the central theme here. You don't need to do anything. In fact, that's what most of my patients do.
20 minutes
Can we have a female? Can we have a male? Sir. Sino? Peter. You don't need to do anything. Oh God, is this coming from fear? Fear! Fear! By the way, can I say this? What's the difference between fear and anxiety? Pretty close. Anxiety is for the future, fear is stronger. Okay. Here's what will help. Could be wrong. Can you imagine yourselves in a fire? What gets you out of the fire? Is it fear or anxiety?
Fear.
Huh? Fear. You fear for your lives. I'm not anxious for my life. No, you're fear for your life. And automatically, fear puts you in action. Let's make a strict Toledo distinction. Fear gets you running. Anxiety paralyzes you. What keeps you from volunteering up here in a snap is all your thinking, all your anxiety. No, kakainis, diba? So the things which you have been stopping yourselves from doing, how brilliant you're supposed to be, how engaged with life, how wonderful you're always generally supposed to feel. Surprisingly, if you shut up. What's stopping you is some mistaken belief or another. You've been stopping yourselves. And that's anxiety, it's not fear. It's BS, it's made up, it's in your head. And let's try to prove that right now. Lady, guy. For a moment, let's imagine you're married. Okay, let's pick a denomination you love and you're married. Okay? They're having a fight. Let's introduce a notion called quality of mind. Quality, not quantity of mind. Because we have a notion in NLP, and the basic notion is insanity is to keep doing the same things which don't work and to insist on having different results. Translation, ikaw kasi, Jose, blah, 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 blah. Bakit ka kasi hindi? And they don't change anything, they expect things to be different. It's funny. That's kind of insanity. Okay, let's try something. It's called quality of mind. Would the lady or the guy like to have the good day? You know what a good day is, right? When your head's fine and nothing kind of bothers you. Take a pic. Would you like to be that or kill? It's just an exercise. Okay. You're coming from a shitty day. You're coming from a great day. He does terrible things, and for some reason it doesn't piss you off. The external circumstances are fucked up, but you're kind of okay. And how do you usually approach? That's okay. That's a bit better, right? Does that kind of make sense? And you can't see it because things are bad, right? Somebody cut you off in traffic. Umiwas ka, tumama ka sa side island, na late ka sa next meeting mo, habang nandun ka sa police station, nagmumura ka sa loob ng isip mo kasi yung meeting na sana ma-hire ka to the tune of $2 million a year, late ka. Versus you on a good day, somebody cuts you off. Ha, ano tatay? Sige, wala na. High quality of mind. Oh, so if he comes home and he's coming from a shitty quality of mind, no amount of explaining things will work. You know how men are, right?
No amount of things will work. You know how men are.
Okay? So, coming from this, nothing you explain will make sense, right? Let's reverse that. If you actually came from a good day, you got cut off, the guy next to you, mainit ang ulo, nag-stall, siya yung tumama sa curb, siya yung battery, ikaw, uwi ka lang. Or it doesn't matter, you went there and then, you had a clear enough head to make a call. I'm sorry, I'm trapped at the police station. I would really like to reschedule this. This is really important. You'd be able to convey what your truth is if you weren't so fucking pissed off. Is that fair to say? Okay? So, I'm saying, guess what? Your happiness, your ability to communicate, isn't based on outside circumstances. How's that for a life-shattering notion? You can have a completely shitty set of circumstances. I assure you, if you knew me, I have at least one really shitty circumstance that none of you would want to have. You'd hate it. You wouldn't be able to survive. You'd be crippled. Guess what? This is me depressed. This is me really thoroughly depressed. And if that doesn't make sense, one of my mentors, short lang, one of my mentors, we're NLP guys, so we can fix like a phobia or a fear or something, like really quick. So the guy approaches my mentor and says, funeral, his dad died. Grief, right? Grief, right? Your dad died. But he was coming from a high quality of mind, so much so that he felt a richness of connection to his dearly departed dad and to his family. A sense of connectedness and purpose and richness and bonding. That even though he was grieving, it was beautiful. NLP guy comes along and says, I can erase your grief right now. Fuck. He wanted to hit the guy. But he was coming from a high quality of mind. So he didn't. Why? He didn't want the grief erased. Because even though he was grieving, he was coming from a grieving but high quality of mind. You understand this because you've all had happy, you've had psychotic happy. You've had happy where you just chill. Where it's coming from a high quality of mind. Where your ability to write your best articles is going to come from is when you're in high quality of mind. And my invitation is for you to notice that it's not going to come from outside circumstances. Does that help?
Yes, I get
Does it make sense? Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering. I'd like to start to wrap up my talk there and check in with you to see what makes sense and help you out with other notions, if that helps. How many minutes do we have left? 15. Thank you. Okay? Is this starting to make sense yet? Yes? Yes. Okay. Pain being my specialty, allow me to say this about pain. The lower your quality of mind is, the more pain there is. So sometimes, and any of you guys know John Caleb? John Caleb? Yeah, the speaker. Yeah, we went to his, we guested at his Genius Intuition thing. Can we mention names?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But I demonstrated, I asked specifically from the audience, can I have patients with pain here? Pain that cannot be treated, pain that has not been addressed, pain that your doctors and your physiotherapists and your chiropractors have given up on. And I had, surprisingly, 5 volunteers from a room of 80 people. So it was simple. Cannot be reduced by surgery, cannot be reduced by painkillers, even opioid painkillers, cannot be reduced by NSAIDs, cannot be improved by sleep. And usually in a few seconds to under 8 minutes, I think my longest was 8 minutes, I could bring down pain from 9 to 1. Couldn't lift a book, could lift 3. Just by talking. They're not even tranced out on the floor. And my ability to do that is coming from my understanding that quality of mind, if it's bad, magnifies pain. So if this helps any, where your attention goes, energy flows. Where your intention goes, energy flows. Except sometimes we like to feed it the wrong kind of energy. So, I could be wrong, Alice, but when you need to write and you can't, you're actually focused on your need to write. Oh shit! That's why you can't write. Because where attention goes, energy flows. Hi. By the way, you owe me my useful fee for 15 minutes. It's just 12.5. For free on me today. And my invitation is, when you're doing coaching, what if you could just bring them to a high quality of mind? And that alone will solve so many things. We've solved addictions. We've solved violence, crime. The fundamental difference between you, my friends, what's your name, sir? Iris. Iris, Strix, man. Have you ever thought you wanted to kill somebody? Yeah. Have you? Off the record. No. That's great. I like this guy already. We can talk later. There's somebody I need. The difference between somebody who hasn't killed somebody and somebody who has is the person who's in jail who killed somebody thinks that the moment they have a thought, they have to act on it. Just because you have a thought, you have to act on it. How psychotic is that? That's kind of true, right? I understand Sir Randy is both a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Yeah. So, yes. Clear first-hand contact with these folks, and the difference is they have a thought, they think they have to act on it. Sir, what's your name, sir? Peter Strix. Peter here from demo, when he shifted from low quality of mind to high quality of mind, understands that some of his thoughts he didn't have to act on. The guy who cut him off, he didn't have. Now, just calm. The understanding that you don't have to act on your worst thoughts changes things. The understanding that there's such a thing called quality of mind and clarity of mind changes things. And since I promised you you'd walk away with an experience, how many of you meditate? I have news for you. How many of you are feeling unusually calm, quite quiet inside, and rather still right now? Raise your hands. Notice that? How did I do that? How did you do that? My invitation for you to consider is it's not the act of meditating that people are chasing with tons and tons of money and effort and skill and years. It's the state of meditation. The quiet where brilliance comes from. The quiet where you don't have to chase people in traffic. The quiet where you don't have to kill people. You're looking for a meditative state. The value of meditation, shh. Don't quote me, but you can. Strix Toledo says 0. The value of the meditative state, high quality of mind, priceless. And my invitation with you is, if you're interested in seeing what this can do for you in your lives, in your careers going forward, I would love to be able to help you out with that journey. And let's see what upcoming interactions there might be with surrounding, what we might be able to do with this. But my invitation for you to consider is that no matter what your circumstances were, things are still shitty outside. But right now, right here, it got calm inside your heads. Because I understand that your quality of mind, responsible for how you take things, your perception of things, that's innate. You're built with that. And that actually inside is something that's brilliant, wonderful, connected, loving, kind, visible. Can I make that distinction? Visibility. Would you believe I'm an introvert? Hey. Yeah. I stand in front of hundreds of people sometimes, and I'm an introvert. How you know what introvert is, if you don't have this distinction yet, is where do you go to recharge? And if you go and be alone to recharge, you're an introvert. Simple, isn't it? Some people, unbelievably, you explain this to an introvert, I'm gonna sit with my barkada so I can be okay. And they go to the bars and they're talking all night, and in the morning they haven't slept, they feel wonderful. That's an extrovert. I'm not that. But the reason I can stand up here is I have less fears about certain things. My distinction for visibility is there's a difference between, you know why people don't speak their truth? I could be wrong. Or don't stand up in crowds, or don't approach strangers and just talk. Number one, I think there's the notion of need, but here, it's not being visible that people fear, but criticism. You're afraid of what people will say. your clients will be afraid of what people will say. They think terrible thoughts to themselves and then they follow their thoughts down the rabbit hole feeling bad. I'm here and I'm visible because we found a way. And it's called the Limitless Course, where the mind just quiets and I don't need 10,000 years of meditation. And something happens and somehow, for at least a moment, my head's clear enough. And I don't need 20 funky steps. Like you did. All you needed was a realization. And the moment we set the realization in, once you have clarity of understanding, which is another notion I'd like to invite for you to pursue, because surprisingly in the Limitless Course, the thing to do is nothing. But if you'd like for things to get better, the thing to do is deepen your understanding, what I call grounding. Where the deeper, the better your understanding of how the mind and the body actually work, the better things work. The way if you understand how a car works, it's automatic. The way if I understand how the mind works, I can have a shitty day, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I assure you, and one of these days, if we're deeper friends, I can tell you about how shitty today was, but hey, this is me depressed. And I'm not faking it. It's just I'm coming from a relatively pretty good quality of mind. And I didn't have to be. I could, after all, be pissed. I sat down at a chicken place, and I'm late here because it took them 20 minutes for them to serve my food. This is me trying to make notes for what to say today. And I could be really pissed that it was taking them forever, and I have to be here on time because I have to be there. I once took care of 80 families, and largely they're Navy, U.S. Navy, and they always want to be on time. So it kills me to not be on time. So I could be really, really pissed, or I could be okay. It doesn't make it any faster for their food to get to me if I'm pissed. But some people do that. They're at the counter. Follow it. It doesn't make things faster. Fear, panicking doesn't make your next article faster. Doesn't make your coaching any better. But coming from a higher quality of mind, that does. And so this is my invitation, friends, if I may call you that, or not yet, as you wish. But we can get there. My invitation, dear friends, is if you were to pursue anything, find groundedness in an understanding of things, where the understanding of how something fundamentally works makes it work automatically for you. Where you can have peace, productivity, connectivity, visibility, an ability to reach out and touch lives by just being there. And an unusual clarity and quality of mind that reverberates throughout your experience. My invitation for you is to pursue that grounding with the understanding that somewhere out there is the ability to tweak your own quality of mind. And while you're not there yet, I leave you with a gift. The understanding that as long as you can adjust, and you can adjust your quality of mind, things change. Because the way your brain works is this. It's not lens and then camera the way we were taught. No. It's lens and then everything that you experience in your head, guess what? Here's a head drip. Everything that you experience right here, right now, including your experience of me and including your experience of your pen, it all happens in your head. It does. That's why I know somebody, a patient who something happened, accident on a plane, and now they have two versions of reality simultaneously playing, and they have to check which is real. It's because it happens in the brain. Proof, in the US, they built goggles which invert. So I'm looking at you, but you're upside down. In minutes to 2 weeks, you look upright, even if I'm wearing the inverted glasses. It's weird. Guess what? Why? Because it's not lens and then film. It's lens and perceptual mechanism. All of your perception of all of your reality, and here's the mind trip. All of your perception is happening inside your heads. You need proof? Wear glasses, put a dot na pencil. Eventually, you won't notice the dot if you don't focus on it. But if you focus on that dot, you will see the dot. But eventually, if it's always there, you don't notice it. And that's true for bad quality of mind. If you don't know it's there, you won't notice it. And so my gift is this. I gave you irreducible, irrevocable, and painfully there awareness that there's such a thing as quality of mind. And unfortunately, I leave you the responsibility to be responsible for your own qualities of mind. Because as life coaches, you will affect others. And because you affect others, I wish you to be so blessed with the highest possible clarity and quality of mind. And if you like what we've spoken about here, and you started to ask yourself, oh my God, that was brilliant. How do we take this going forward? I'll leave a few of our business cards, and you can always reach me through Randy. And we'll see how to take this forward. God bless.
Thank you. Okay.